my God.
back.
I
Welcome.
feel like I've seen you so much this week. I love it.
I know. Wait, so you came on my stream on Thursday, then you were
Uh-huh.
we were on Simpcast together on Sunday, and now on Monday. That's like 3 times in a
That
week.
is like, wow. It almost feels like we're back in the Poconos.
It does feel like that. It's about to feel like that even more soon. Hint, hint, guys.
So excited for
Just
it.
teasing at stuff. Me too. I know we were talking about it before, and I'm like thinking of all these plans. I can't freaking wait. Can't freaking wait. Hi everybody. Welcome to another episode of Doctor Who Review with the lovely with my lovely co-host XiaLand Girl. I'm so good at words. I do this for a living. What's wrong with
English so good.
me? So good. We're back with the season 3 finale. It's a 2-part episode. What did you think before we even like dive into all of it? There's so much. And the second one has my favorite reveal of all time, and I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Well, yes. There were a lot of reveals, and I just, the second episode was a great kind of build-up episode to bring you to the penultimate ending, and I think that a lot of characters had a very well-rounded out end to their arc in this season. There was only one part that I felt was a bit odd, but then it was just maybe it was a special effects thing.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
yeah, but everything else made sense in the episodes. It's very interesting. It's very similar to Blink, but of course this has all the things included in the finale has been trailed throughout the whole entire season to come to a paradoxical moment where it's just cyclical, which we saw a nice, well-rounded episode with the Blink episode, with time travel, and it worked, and it was freaking awesome. And Psychotic Mongoose is laughing at me. Xray Girl's face at the reveal was perfect. I think I spent like a whole minute with my mouth wide open, like, huh?
That is literally not only my favorite reveal of all time. I've never stopped talking about it. I never stopped thinking about it. I still remember the way that it hit me the first time I watched it, and I was like, oh, I did the same thing. My mouth was like ajar for the longest time, and I remember looking over at Nick and being like, oh my God.
What the effing F of all the Fs that would just happened is how I felt.
Of all the Fs. Oh, also, before I get started, I'm so sorry, everybody. Hi, everyone. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And Backhand, thank you so much for the 11 hugs. Backhand sent 11 hugs, golden shower boy, that's not in his super chat because YouTube is messing up for him. So he sent it in PayPal, and it was lovely. And then we also have 5 from Tricky. Thank you so much. He said Xray Girl's face at the end of the second episode with Captain Jack's big reveal was priceless. That's the one. That's the one.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you have been holding that in like crazy the last
so long
year.
So long, yes. Yeah,
half a year since we started
been.
watching, since Chrissy's wedding, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my God. Wait, no, Chrissy's wedding was
year,
in like
a year and a half ago.
Holy shit!
Right when
it was.
She got married last year. It's a year, right?
Yeah, a year. It's been a year.
Oh my God, my brain. I don't understand it.
I don't understand the way time works at all. In my head, things are simultaneously forever ago and also last week. It's just the way it works in my brain. Always.
What did I even eat yesterday? Don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know what I had for freaking breakfast.
I'm back on my diet, so I do know what I ate today.
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say, so do I. Same. Isn't it so sad coming off of like having fun and eating whatever you want and then going back to your like diet routine and you're like,
well, I will say my food is not that bad. Like I had a balsamic, slow cooked chicken with like tomatoes and olive oil and onion. And it was actually pretty good. Very soupy, but
that sounds good.
And it was very filling, even though it's apparently only 3. Let me quote myself. I did make sure my ingredients were perfect.
Is this a recipe? Will you send me this?
I mean, I can.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
I ate 180 calories in just the soup, but I also had like vegetables too, which it's just mostly liquid, which is probably why it tastes so good.
Yes.
So, but anyways, back to Doctor Who.
Oh yeah,
We just have to talk about boobs. But Doctor Who,
we'll get there.
we will.
We will.
Wait, was this your favorite kind of finale for so far?
Honestly, this is one of my I think this has to be my favorite finale for the Captain Jack reveal alone, which like at this point, I obviously this isn't a spoiler for anyone, I don't think. But if it is, get it together. Captain Jack is the face of Bo. Captain Jack is the face of Bo.
How his face swells up that big, and now I have to go back. Oh, you know what? I could just Google it, face of Bo, just to see what it looked like. It doesn't really look like Captain Jack, because no, not really.
But think about the drums, Tricky, the drums. Oh, it is awesome, but also it made me cry. It made me cry, Tricky. The next season finale is really good. It's true. But no with the spoilers. But we'll get there. But the face of Bo, the face of Bo that just is such a huge one. It doesn't look like Captain Jack, but think about what would happen to your body if you couldn't die and you lived for 1 billion years.
Kept
It's
aging. And like
aging.
that was 1,000 years in the future that we saw him, right? With the cat people.
With the cat people, but then we also saw him in the second episode at the end of time, the end of the world. He was there for that too.
Oh my God, I forgot
where the
about
earth
that.
was exploding and they were watching it. Yeah. He lives a very, very, very long time.
I can imagine like you go from super handsome. Well, he even said it himself. I'm, vain a little bit. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm aging. What will happen?
He didn't know.
He becomes a head in a jar, just like Futurama promised.
Yep. Yes. Oh my God. I didn't, for some reason, I've never made that connection. That's so true. He's just going to be a head in a jar. Futurama called it.
And no, Jonathan, I still wouldn't if his head is in a jar. But I do have questions for you, Xia. Would you still, the doctor, little man?
The little doctor? That's a tough. I don't think so. That's a tough one.
I said because he shrinks in size. You can only assume he shrinks in other sizes.
You got a little micro. Be funny if that's the part that stayed huge. He shrinks down, but he still has a giant wing. It's the same size, and you're just like, doctor,
doctor, please tend to my wounds. What about 100 years older doctor?
100 years older doctor is also a tough one. I would love him like a friend. My friend's own old doctor.
Yeah. It was actually so sad to see him so like weak.
He was very frail. It was weird, right? Because one of the characteristics of the doctor is that he's so energetic. And a genius, and he still was a genius. He hatched this plan in the beginning of it all. This was such a good 2-part episode. Also, oh my God, sorry, I know we're all over the place. But revealing that those creatures, oh my God, I literally just watched the
utopian humans.
Utopian humans.
I kind of wish. I mean, it would have. It's just that one line, realistically. So they did flash you back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did forget about them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you get completely sidetracked by finding out that the master is a Time Lord and he steals a TARDIS. And then that takes your focus completely away from the episode where they're trying to find utopia. And turns out there isn't utopia. And that's what they become, which is both.
They become cannibals that love killing each other. I thought it was really sad with that reveal. So like kind of jumping around. Yes, of course. But when they hatched that plan to get the orbs and figure out what's in there and you see the face and you're like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. It don't look familiar to me.
No.
And for some reason, it's that exact human that she had that interaction with. I will say that's a bit of a reach.
It is a little bit, but it's also oddly
poetic.
God, yeah, it is. It's also just very kind of satisfying that was the little kid that she
was trying so hard to save.
And then she ends up having to be the one to kill him. Well, actually it was Lucifer that had to kill him, but still.
I learned that he's Lucifer. Also very handsome. Oh,
I
okay.
somehow missed that. Both of us somehow missed that, apparently. This is I've seen this before.
Well, so backtracking to the part 2 episode where they go to, I guess, back to the 21st century to see the prime minister get elected and all that. And I just love the way that episode unfolded with all the mysteries. We have the wife being a companion. I thought that was really cool too.
Mhm.
But like the evil companion. And then for the rest of the episodes, I kept on making relations to Star Wars because it did feel a little Star Warsy.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
When the taclophones came out and started going pew 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 pew, and then
Yeah.
Mr. Saxon was a Sith Lord,
Oh,
essentially.
definitely a Sith Lord.
But it was really cool to see the three of them. I really do like the dynamic of the Doctor, Jack, and a companion. It's just the levity has increased, the fun has increased, and I just really like the way Jack is with them versus with Torchwood. He has to have that more responsible persona.
Yeah, you're right, and they do work really, really well together too. Just Jack and Martha and the doctor when they're sort of, hiding out with their fire in the barrel. Essentially, they're kind of homeless, and they have to, make sure nobody sees them. It's a really good dynamic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they all just kind of like look to the doctor immediately to be like, okay, what do we need to do? And then they just sort of do it.
Yeah, maybe Jack likes to be led, and that's okay. It's much tougher to make those decisions.
Yeah, yeah. And it's nice too, probably to give up the reins of control sometimes and just not necessarily relax, but it's not so much pressure on you to make all the decisions and save everyone all the time.
Mhm. Well, look at the way his ending for Torchwood happened. Like he had to really put his foot down
Mhm.
for a lot of people, and his people were against him.
Yeah. Yes, they killed him.
Mhm. Do you want subordinates like that? Really? Ooh.
Well, apparently he does because at the end of the episode he goes back.
Well, he did spend a whole year making up plans and continually dying.
And that's true. That's a good point. He did die a lot.
You end up missing the lesser of evils.
He did. He was like, "Well, I guess if I have to choose someone that killed me once versus being with someone where I'm going to get killed a million times."
Oh, but yeah, the whole storyline of getting Mama and Papa to turn on her, on Martha, Tish, like he is a tactician, the master. I
Good on the
thought,
dad though. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
mean, that's love,
Mhm.
realistically. The mom, I think she came from a good place in her heart, but in the end, you have to listen to your children, and they
Yeah.
should be left to make their own mistakes as well.
Mhm.
Unless she's, of course, doing drugs or
Well,
hurting people.
yeah, that's a little bit different, but also at the same time, if you're doing drugs, and I've been through this with my sister, there's also only so much you can do up to a point before you're just enabling them, and then you still have to let them
Exactly.
make their own decisions. Like if they don't want to get clean and actually do the work, there is absolutely nothing you can do that will make them see that. So it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch. But if you go there and try to force them into it, it's never gonna work. So it's
It
still
has
kind
to
of
be
they
from
have to.
them,
Yeah, it has to come from them. Exactly.
which, I mean, fast forwarding, we do see it eventually get to that point,
Uh-huh.
which I think is a bit premature, uh, on the show's part, but she did get her come to moment. I'm standing up for myself. I'm even explaining that I'm standing up for myself, but we'll see each other one day. And I
Mm.
really like that for Martha. She really grew on me, obviously, throughout the season, and
Yeah.
I want more from her, but I know we won't get that type of more,
Yeah.
as her with her as a companion,
But she
whatever
does
that means.
come back. She does come back.
There was like a great bit of foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing actually in the last episode, at least from what I could tell. There was
Yes.
quite a lot. I mean, Titanic and rings and freaking future. I'll see you in the future. I'll call you one day. What? Huh?
You're gonna have to pick up that phone, and you better come running.
So whatever that means. When the master opened up the rift, to bring the Taclophanes in, I was kind of hoping for some reason that like that would bring Mickey and Rose. I didn't know what kind of time rift that was being open. Oh my god, you have a look on your face. I don't like it.
I'm not gonna say anything. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, that's the one thing I think that maybe there is something alluding to that, especially now that I'm reading your face. But that might have opened something, and I would love to see those two back. Because Mickey is so freaking cool. He's grown up a lot too.
Mickey grows up a lot. Good things happen for Mickey. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, this is so hard. I cannot wait to talk about this. Holy moly.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Look at us. A golden shower boy. Thank you so much, Anti-Pattern. That's a whole golden shower boy. Hey guys, please watch Time Crash now. What's Time Crash?
Is that the title of an episode?
Is it?
Time Crash Doctor Who. So it's a Doctor Who Time Crash Children in Need. Hey? I don't know which season it's from. Oh, it's a movie? Crossover with the 10th and the 5th Doctor. Yeah, because I see a picture here.
Oh, so it's a movie. Oh, okay, I see.
Okay. The 10th meets one of his previous incarnations. Oh, it has Peter Davidson, David Tennant, and Freema. Oh, that would be fun to watch.
Wow, 2007 this came out.
And does it fall in between the seasons? Chat?
Yeah, where does it fall at that point?
Oh, it's 5 minutes long. It's a mini.
Oh.
Is it on YouTube? Where do we find it? This is so cool. We can't watch it, of course, because YouTube will
YouTube
strike us. And we like Zia's channel to be intact, please.
I would like it to stay. That'd be good.
Yeah, we like it. But okay, so we're backtracking. We keep jumping. So Saxon becomes prime minister. He kills his cabinet, which I'm sorry, if I saw someone put a gas mask on, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna try and leave.
You would think. It's part of me was like, oh my god, this guy's such a moron, and the other part was like, well, is it just because he can't fathom a prime minister killing an entire cabinet of people because like that's so psychotic? But still, if he's putting a gas mask on, I'd be like, what? You should get the hell out of here.
Hi, bye.
Hi, Ashley. Okay.
But yeah, and then the wife, the reveal of the wife was really cool too, because we get to the reporter who I actually thought was going to be more evil for some reason, and she's interviewing Lucy, and just thinking, okay, so what's the catch here? What are we going to see? And I thought, oh yeah, she's going to definitely kill the wife or something. I have no idea. Maybe she's Torchwood. And to see the wife end up being like, I'm gonna, of course, be there for my husband. What? And then he appears. What?
Mm-hmm.
And then the spheres appear. What?
Like, what kind of crazy Stockholm-esque bullshit was going on with her and him? I was like, because I was trying to figure out what is the deal with them, because she obviously was standing by him. You know, that she clearly was enamored with him and in love with him. But in the end, she's the one that turns against him.
I think that likely he like claimed that he was going to do so much for her. They were going to take over the world. And then we fast forward to, you know, of course, they're supporting each other up till that when they're on Valiant. And when they're on Valiant, I feel like she went through a slew of abuse, which we do see. She has that like black eye. I did catch that. And it's it's almost like teaching people, like, stand up for yourself. Well, I mean, not shoot them, but, you should say something if something's going on in your life and try to fix it. Maybe not take them out, but take yourself out of the spot that will get you in trouble.
Yes, absolutely. Get yourself out of that situation. But it's wild because she, had chances throughout to turn on him, but it wasn't until the end. And I guess she had to endure enough abuse that she became
Mm.
too much, maybe.
And Holocron brings up that she was under the same spell as everyone. That could also be possibly it.
Oh, that's a good point.
So maybe it wasn't even like that at all. She wasn't, like, in love with him. Because we did see Martha when, oh my God, when she was talking about him and she was doing the tap, 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 tap. And she was like, oh yeah, he talks a lot of good stuff. And she couldn't
Yep.
bring any examples up. And you're like,
And then when they find out that it's all it's in the phone, it's in the wireless network, the telephone network. My brain is not working today at all. I just apologize to everyone in advance for that. But yeah, it's just her. It's throughout the telephone network. It was such a clever way of getting it out there. It's basically like mind control,
subliminal messaging, mind
Mm-hmm.
control. And I mean, look at today with social media and the news.
It's true.
It's kind of the same thing, but even more manipulative with what they put out versus telling people how to behave through coding.
Yep.
Although I'm sure they would totally do that if that were a possibility.
They might be doing it now. Sometimes I think about that. Like, you ever notice that like Nick and I were talking about this the other day. You ever notice that sometimes this happened on the day that we almost got freaking killed in the car because these people are driving like psychopaths on the Garden State Parkway. And then we were noticing that day that everybody was really aggressive, and all the drivers were being like, another lady was screaming and yelling at someone as she was turning into a parking lot. And like, it was weird. And then we just sort of got onto the topic of, what if this is just some sort of an experiment? And I'm not even talking about we're in a simulation experiment, but even just on a different level where they release some sort of toxin or something, or gas or whatever, and watch how it affects humans and people, someday it makes them very aggressive or whatever it is. It was just a weird sort of tangent to get off to, because you ever notice that some days it just feels like that, where it just seems like kind of collectively everyone's really on edge. And now we do have a reason for that, as things have been, not the best for the past however many years, but still at the same time, it seems like bless you. God,
Sorry,
you
excuse me.
sneeze ever. It's kind of like it seems to happen collectively, and some days are just worse than others for people. So that's like something that I already think about.
I usually say whenever there's a full moon, there's definitely a lot more crazy people. So
something's going on.
If it was last week, it might have been the eclipse. They say those type of solar events definitely affect human beings. Take it or leave it. I don't know.
Yeah. And tricky. That's why I can't, I don't trust it at all. They could be doing all kinds of stuff and we just don't know.
We don't. So it's very interesting to see the doctor or the master use tactics like this and enact them on the world, and it actually being successful, because I've never seen well, I guess it feels worse because it's Jack and the doctor being subjected to the master's evil plan and imprisoned. Like, to see the doctor that weak, it's usually only when he regenerates that I've seen him that weak or that dejected, because he had such cute little eyes with his ugly face.
Oh, he's all tiny, but he had these big eyes. He just kept looking up at you, and he's all like sad and weak.
And I'm thinking he just wants to regenerate, but then he wouldn't be the same. Ugh.
Well, I think that what he did stopped him from regenerating. I think it was like, if we can stop the regeneration and just turn him into a 900-year-old. Like, I don't know if he could have regenerated even if he wanted to.
I think he would just become a face of Bo if he just kept aging.
Oh,
right?
Man.
And required a tank for his head.
Yeah. And then it would just be a doctor face. Doctor face.
Tricky.
Tricky, thank you
So
so
true.
much. Tinkerbell doctor, though.
So true. So true. That's the one thing I didn't like about the episode, but it's just a small thing. Just a small thing.
It wasn't the best special effects.
No, but hey, it's the time, I suppose. So I guess I'm gonna have to go back and watch the stuff with Harriet Jones and her downfall and see how it kind of integrates him into the position that he got, because I did think it was cool that the reporter was the person bringing this to the forefront, because who else would? They've been away for however many months. Well, in that case, it was 4 days. And
Yeah, but
to have that happen within 4 days is crazy. Like Martha leaving, they meet at the Lazarus experiment or the project for the de-aging, and then Tish going from job to job, like she fell upwards into the government.
yeah.
Seems a little sketch, you know.
No, it's all sketch. No, he was there laying the groundwork, and he is brought up a lot throughout the season. And then finally, that's the big reveal. But you don't really think anything of it when he's brought up because you don't have any information.
It's
then
a
yet.
throwaway
Why?
line, like
It's a throwaway line. Why
Henry
would you?
Saxon.
Exactly.
Who? But the crazy part is Martha knew who that name was.
Yeah, and she heard the voice, but she didn't
Put two
ever
and two
know what
together.
he looked like. Yeah, and then exactly, she didn't put 2 and 2 together at that point. Because why would you? You're traveling through time and space. You don't think, and on basically at the end of the freaking universe, you don't really think about Earth and the two tying together. Like I probably wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, this is so far removed from Earth. You wouldn't think that it's gonna be something that affects what's happening on Earth because you're literally in space. But it's crazy.
So it does suck that the whole Jones family gets brought into it, except for the brother who that I think it is pretty cool that they didn't capture all of them. But the sister, mom and dad, I really like the dad. You know, he just big fan of Martha, it seems. And Tish
Yeah.
is, she's trying to climb that corporate ladder, or I guess government ladder.
Tish is, I don't think she's a bad character at all. They didn't really give her a lot of time to shine, but she was never the type of character that got in the way or was obnoxious.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yes. And I was joking with my chat earlier. I'm like, in the second episode, Martha is the girl who's the key to everything, as a joke, because she kind of was.
She kind of was. It's interesting though, and I feel like this is why they did it so well. Then they did it so well because Martha is sort of the key to everything. But without the doctor and the doctor's plan, she wouldn't have been able to do anything. But and in turn, with the doctor, without her and her love for him and her tenacity and her drive and her sort of stubbornness, he wouldn't have been able to enact his plan. So it's really they needed the both of them together, and it just goes to show it's not necessarily the doctor was a genius obviously to come up with this plan. Without that, no one would have made it. But it's sort of just sends the message that nobody can do everything alone, no matter how good you are.
No, and teamwork
like
is awesome because sure, yeah, you could try to do most things alone in your life, but there are going to be points in your life where you need to work with someone in order to do something, and being able to play well with others is a good quality, and portraying that in this show the way they did was amazing. And on top of that, like when they were trying to deal with the master, Jack's like, let's just pew him, which he did say it right. It's very Torchwood. Torchwood is a lot more darker, straight and to the point. You go to jail. What was the line of Torchwood's? Anything that's alien is basically ours.
Yes, yeah, anything that's alien is ours.
And we've seen the way they treat their employees too. If you're not part of Torchwood, you get the memory wipe, cold, you lose that year or so. If you die, all your stuff belongs to them. Like, it's like these little things. It's a lot harsher than how it is with the doctor. And the doctor's like, he's my responsibility. I will do what I need to do because he's a Time Lord. And the Time Lord lore, how they get their names, that was really cool to learn.
Yeah, and learning about also finding out what the Doctor did. You kind of find out that he was the one that essentially wiped out his race and the Daleks. He had to make that hard decision because he knew he could end it all, but that means everyone died.
Yeah, it's sacrificing for the greater good. Can you do that? Ugh.
Which you learn a lot about the Doctor when you find that out. You learn a lot of where his sorrow comes from and his reluctance to kill and how he doesn't ask anyone else to do that.
Yeah, so I thought I loved how that he said that line in episode part 2, and then in part 3, you see him enact it, which I totally forgot about that line. And when just that moment where he he lets him live, because I'm like, dang, twice over he didn't even bother killing you. You know?
Well, and also they're the last two. They're the last two Time Lords. Like that, it's him and the Master, and that's it.
Yeah, I didn't cry, but I felt a lot of emotions for the Doctor, because even though the Master is evil, unequivocally evil, he was going to keep him alive and just imprison him in the TARDIS, because being alone sucks. That's why they have companions.
Yes.
But also being alone as a species, it's daunting. He's the last of his kind. Well, now
he thought that he was the last of his kind all that time, and then finding out that the Master was alive for him seemed to be, he was both scared and I think also sort of relieved that maybe he didn't kill everyone. But also,
and he wasn't going to be the one to do it.
He wasn't going to be the one to do it. Yeah, he couldn't be the one to enact violence again and really wipe out his entire, I mean, that's genocide essentially.
Yeah. And he the part that got me was like, just regenerate. And I'm like, and the guy's like, I won. Suck it.
But he didn't, because did you see at the end of the episode when a woman's hand picks up that ring? What do you make of that?
Foreshadowing.
There's so much foreshadowing.
Because it's like, why even bother putting that in if it didn't mean something,
Exactly.
So whatever that means, I guess my best guess is maybe his DNA is on there and he gets remade and then comes back to life. Who knows? I don't know. But I want to. Wait, okay. You don't have to answer all the questions, just this one. Do we solve this in the next season?
No.
God, it's like the face of Bo stuff.
Yeah.
Took 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, there's like the payoffs in this show are wild. Like there are payoffs that are seasons of the show long.
Little Easter eggs. God dang you.
I know. It's so good.
Yeah. So the Titanic, I hope we figure that out in the next episode. Okay. Which I think we do with the Christmas special.
That we do with the Christmas special, which I love the Christmas special. It's so good. And because it's the only spoiler, which I think you probably already got, is that it's the Titanic, but in space. And it's so cool.
Space Titanic.
Ooh.
Jack, you can't fit on this door. We're in space. You'll float away. I don't know.
You'll float away. You'll freeze to death out there.
Yeah, which both of them will, no matter if they're on the door or not.
Exactly.
But let's see, what else did we get to see here? The Archangel. I have to watch this again, rewatch this, because I don't remember much about them mentioning. Did they mention Archangel Project in previous episodes, or was this something that was just mentioned in these sets?
I honestly don't remember.
Chat.
We just watched everything. Chat, let's turn to you.
Yeah. Y'all know more than me. Always. Yeah. God. Because obviously that was incumbent on the plan to enact all of that. with the Toclafane. I really wanted the Toclafane to be alien.
It was crazy that they were human.
And a paradox, because
Paradox.
they explained it so well. Okay. Time paradoxes. If you take out what came before you, you won't exist down the line.
Which
And
makes sense.
we see that happen so explained so well, where the TARDIS is holding the paradox and keeping them there.
And only the TARDIS would have the power to do that.
Because it has almost basically infinite power. And this is why it feels very much like the Blink episode, where it rounds it out so beautifully and explains things so well. Because time is very hard to, and this show is all about time. Time is very hard to play around with, and they made pretty steadfast rules, which I appreciated, especially with Rose wanting to go back and save her dad and be there for that moment. But of course he had to go. Otherwise who knows, she might not have existed. Time is jiggly wiggly, bibbly bobbly.
Wibbly wobbly. Mobile phone satellite network. It was only this double episode. Okay. Thank you, Russ.
Okay. Thank you, Russ. Okay. And I do like how you did think that Martha was a legend coming back in part 2.
Yeah. It was cool. It was very cool. She made this, but that's the whole point of it. She was out there giving hope, but it wasn't just hope. And she was the perfect person to do it because of her love of the Doctor. She was the person to go out there and tell that story.
Yeah. I did think when she met Tom, Lucifer, and they had that moment where, it has been a year for her at that point, is there Mrs. Mulligan? I'm like, excuse me?
Yep.
Have you not had any affection of any man? So you need to find it in this big hunky dude?
Probably. That makes sense.
He kind of looks a little like the Doctor, just more serious.
Yeah, they do have a similar sort of look. The dark brooding Doctor. Dark brooding hair.
Shush you, Jonathan. Getting called out in the chat right now.
I get it.
I was like, he's just a less hairy version of Mark with 2 legs. Okay, whatever. I can't help it. I love the dark hair, the beard, and all that. So I did think, oh my God, what if they have more moments? Could this be the reason she snaps out of being in love with the Doctor completely? But no, he died so horribly too.
Well, what's annoying about that is, it's funny because Nick pointed this out when we were watching it. It made me laugh because he runs out screaming no, but he doesn't shoot at all. He doesn't even do anything. He doesn't even try. And I know they found out that he can regenerate, but it still would have taken some time. It would have. But obviously, Martha, which I love this, by the way, Martha showed zero emotion when he died. Nothing.
Because she didn't care for him.
Not at all.
She's like, I'm gonna be reunited with my Doctor soon.
That's all she wanted. She wanted to be reunited with the Doctor. And even though he's old, I think she still would have. With old Doctor.
Yeah. No tiny wrinkly pee-pee for me.
No. I'll take care of you in your little cage, Doctor. I'll feed you marshmallows, but you keep your pee-pee in there.
I would treat him like a baby Yoda. Can he come around in a little carriage that floats? Yeah, Doctor, let's go. We're going on adventure.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But so back to Martha kind of traveling the world, and that whole plan with Docherty, that was ingenious because I didn't think that she was gonna actually turn on them.
But we didn't know that they had her son. So that was a key. I didn't realize that either until she was like, oh, about my son. I was like, oh, that's why she does it. Because I couldn't remember.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It's family. And the reasons, the motivations of most if not all the characters, are pretty sound there.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we get to see like the world be a part of this. The whole 4 shots to kill the doctor. I'm like, how would Torchwood have this technology? I mean, I could believe it.
You could believe it, but then also it's so unlike the Doctor to kill someone, especially someone the last of his time. So it was a really good. It was both ingenious, but also really good storytelling that it shows the difference between who the Doctor is and who the Master is. That the Master actually believed that the Doctor would have killed him.
Because that's something that he would have done to the Doctor.
Exactly.
And there we go. Some lessons there. Not every fight has to be done where you hurt the other person.
Yep.
And I wish we had more of those lessons. Goddamn Maximus from freaking Fallout. I hate him.
Ah, that son of a bitch.
Have you watched it?
I'm almost to the end.
Oh, okay. I
haven't
hate
got
him so much.
I come and go on him, but I'm betting at the end something happens and he does something stupid.
And he does something stupid almost every episode.
That's true. Yeah, he does something stupid in almost every episode. But I bet you the end he's gonna do the end of the season. He's gonna do something really stupid that's gonna make me hate him. I totally get why you don't like him though.
Mm-hmm. He's just falling upwards, teaching the wrong lessons.
Yeah. Yep.
So, whereas like this is way better. Learn from the Doctor, please. And I forgot. I think it was on Real BBC, but having that strong male lead that teaches good moral values and lessons for life. It's something that we don't get too often. And if we're using like Fallout as a show, Walter Goggins,
I love Walter Goggins.
I love him as a character. He is evil, but he is I feel like he's more like chaotic good. And he's doing things for his family, which obviously you think is a good moral thing to do, even though he's, pew-pewed a few people. But because of where he comes from, you're like, maybe I can understand that. I can understand that.
Well, it's like you understand his motivations a little bit more. And also he's more self-serving than necessarily just outright evil.
Yes. So what's this?
Tricky for 10. Tricky, thank you so much for another golden shower boy. He said, what's worse about him running out and yelling no and dying is that he did it right after Martha told the crowd that she loved the Doctor.
Yep, oh my God.
He saw it.
Yes.
Oh my God,
that's subtle. As soon as she said, I love the Doctor, it pans to his face and you're like, and he has that like, And you're like, sorry. It's all about timing, bro. It's fine,
It's and he just met her, but I bet you at that point in time, there's not a lot of choice. A lot of the population wasn't around. People are probably stinky. Martha looked like she was still taking care of herself somehow, so he was like, "Ooh, hey, a legend,
clean woman. Hey, that's a high value woman in this society."
Yeah, he's like, she doesn't smell like fish. Yes,
yeah.
I love.
I'm down, literally.
Yep, he was.
The great thing is, because of the time reversal. I mean, this is just me being thirsty, but she could go find him.
That's true. That's a good point.
And she knows his name. I mean, it's a very common name, to be fair, but she could find him.
Sure, I'm not going to say anything because there's just so much. It's so good. There's another payoff with Martha that's so good.
Oh, okay. Does Martha get with Mickey? Eminem? I would love that.
Wait, who said Eminem? Oh, I thought you're talking to someone in the chat.
Martha and Mickey, Eminem. Oh my goodness.
I don't know why that threw me off so much. I was like, Eminem, the
food,
Mickey. But yeah, she did. She stopped. Anyway, I'm not saying anything, but there is a really good payoff with Martha. She did have somehow makeup in a post-apocalyptic world. Hey, look, if it's a post-apocalyptic world, I'd maybe be rating the makeup counter at stores. No one else.
They still have it. It's not like all the supply is gone.
Exactly.
So, and maybe she knows how to do dirty chic.
Yeah. Maybe, or maybe she just rubbed a little bit of some soot under her eyes. I'll sit around the eyes.
You could do a dark smoky eye.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that in a post-apocalyptic world. All you need is a little bit of soot or a little bit of coal. You're good to go. That's what I would do.
Oh my god. The whole thing with the American president, I actually thought it was really funny seeing America interject their nose and everything as per usual.
My favorite part about that is because we're watching British television. So you're seeing it from a British perspective, but normally we'd be seeing it from our perspective where, oh, well, of course this is happening in the US. Of course it would be the president that's in on it. But in this show, it's like the British being like, the fucking Americans are here and we don't want them here. We didn't ask for the Americans to be here.
Yeah,
What
but
the
they
fuck?
totally would put their nose in there. And then like the Americans like, you already said that you were going to be there, so I guess you'll have to be there. God dang it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was, that was really funny. The American president was good. That was a good touch. And then he gets pew-pewed.
vaporized
On national television. And then that's the end of the president. What I do love is that they bring it right back to when they do come back in time. It's 8:02, right after the president dies, but before the future people come.
Oh, is it? I totally missed that.
Yeah.
Totally missed that. Who would be prime minister then?
Who would be prime minister and who would be the president of the US?
Ooh, I don't know. What's this? The funniest and most unrealistic thing is when the UK always bosses the US around somehow. Yeah, if only that were the case, but I think America is just, I don't want to say stronger, more obnoxiously loud.
We are still, but I feel like that might be a change in. I don't know, man. I feel like our education is getting bad. Like we're getting lower and lower in the education. I know we still have a good military, but still, I don't know, man.
Well enough military. If you keep lowering those standards, U.S. military, and bringing in those females, and lowering standards is fine, but maybe not for military.
Yeah.
Your defense.
Yeah. Look, I don't have a problem if the girl is a really good shot or anything. If she's a great shot, then, anyone can be a good shot. You don't need to be a guy to be able to shoot a gun very, very well. Or, work a fucking drone, whatever it is. But if you're sending out like women in hand-to-hand combat, which I guess doesn't really happen anymore at this point, but it's still.
Yeah, it does. I mean, when they do any missions, like I'm sure in the Ukraine right now, they probably are doing some stuff.
Yeah, maybe stuff like that. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah. Or like back in the early 2000s with Afghanistan and whatnot. So I'm sure there was a lot of action unwanted. So I personally have not heard from I don't know many infantry Canadians if they've seen that type of action, but I'm sure they have. I just don't know anyone that's gone there.
Yeah. I guess I do. I could ask.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Chat. Anyone that's been in action lately or that sort of stuff? I feel like it's so dark. I like to live in the bright, happy world.
That's such a crazy question to ask.
Yeah. PM of Britain at the time was Tony Blair. I've heard his name so many times. Was he a good one? I feel like people liked him, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've heard the name too, but I don't know anything about it. It's so funny how we just don't know jack shit about the rest of the country, the rest of the world, except for people know about Putin, right?
He put himself there, Oh, see, Jonathan says there are a few I don't know what PMCs are, but in Ukraine right now. So there are people that are literally in the thick of things. Glad I'm not doing that type of job. I'm very appreciative that we have safety.
Yep. Yes. Definitely.
So, but we have the doctor. I do like back to Martha's story. I really do like how when she's telling the story, the doctor's like this very altruistic, similar to an actual doctor, he saves you guys all the time. You don't even know. It's like a thankless job and he just does it because he wants to. And I thought that was such a love letter to how she feels about him and how good of a person he is, even though he has that dark side. We didn't really see the dark side as much with Martha.
No, you don't. It's true. You don't see it as much with Martha, and I think you do still see it a little bit more with the Christopher Eccleston iteration. But it does come out, as you saw with the doctor. Yeah, it does come out sometimes, and when it does, it's like, damn. But yeah, but he doesn't want recognition, and that's what I think is part of what makes the doctor so great, because he does at the end when Martha's like, all of this happened and no one will even remember you, and he's like, good, like he doesn't want them to. I keep meaning to ask you, did you do purple in your hair again? I'm sorry, this is totally
I
was gonna say it's
when
so
I went
much
to Vegas, Melissa like redyed my hair and made it even more like purpley.
I was gonna say, it looks so good.
I'll show you. I'm gonna open the window.
The sunlight.
See the purple?
Yeah, you can definitely see the purple. Like
it just looks blue in stream.
It still looks like I still see the purple, but it does have more of a blue tint. But yeah, it's very what's the word? Vibrant.
Yeah, it's definitely more colorful than the last time I did it, which I love. I know everyone's like, you look like an SJW. I'm like, that's because in the dark it looks like a blue. So whatever.
And also, let's take the colors back. Damn it, the SJW's ruined it, and I don't care. The pink was fun, and when I did purple, it was way too light. I got to redo it again, but like a brighter purple. Because I love it, and I don't. I'm not going to let the SJWs take the colors away from us. God damn it!
Exactly. Screw them.
I'll have colored hair with my pretty dresses. You leave me alone.
I do want to try like the pink one day, but I feel like it would fade quicker than the purple.
If you do a really bright pink, mine lasted a long time. Like I was actually surprised at how long it lasted. Like a few months, I feel like.
So hopefully soon. We'll see. I'm really lazy. Okay. Also, I've been getting professionals to wash my hair because I don't want to deal with scrubbing my shower.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The first time I showered at home, when I got my hair done, it just got all in the grout. And I'm like, this is a pain in my butt. Plus, we just rented the bathroom, so I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, no, it's the worst. And then also it gets all over if you have white towels, it gets all over your towels or light colored towels. And then I remember that from when I did my hair purple too. It just gets everywhere. It was on my pillow. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I wear hair cap.
Smart. That's a good idea.
I knew it would. My last PJ shirt, because it's a bit of a lighter color, has like purple all on the collar, and I'm like,
yep,
whoopsies.
Yeah, the price we pay.
No, hopefully you guys like it. I know I love it. So
it looks so good.
That's all that matters.
It looks so good. I thought it looked more purple, and for the longest time I was like, is it the lighting? And I was like, it's not the lighting. It does. I love it.
I love it though. Yeah. When we saw Valiant, I had a lot of Avengers vibes.
Oh my God, 100% straight from Avengers. Just straight from Avengers.
I legit thought Valiant was going to be like just a private plane. Private military helicopter plane, but it was like they lived on there. The dude had every aspect of the platform. He was part of planning, so he knew every single little thing about that. So it was funny seeing them try to escape, and you're like, good try.
They tried their best.
Oh, and then the doctor had the sonic screwdriver, but he had a laser screwdriver.
Yeah, who would use Sonic anymore? That's what he said. Who would use Sonic? Tricky, thank you so much. He said, take back colored hair from the loonies. Yeah.
Hell freaking yeah. So, yeah. Ow. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm getting old, man. I gotta be careful. Like my neck hurts. I'm like, oh, I turned my neck too fast. Great.
No more crazy dances in the chair.
Oh, that's so sad. What kind of life is that?
Elderly life?
Oh no.
You
I
have
love
no
when he-
choice in the matter.
I know the alternative is being dead, but still. I did like when he called him Gramps. He was like, "Come on, Gramps." He's like getting him back in the chair.
Yeah. And just like, yeah, good try, doctor. He lost so much of his happiness being old. I felt so bad for him.
I know. It was sad.
And I mean, the master's, of
Vibrancy.
course, evil. But yeah. He I think just looking at him doesn't seem evil, but he plays the evil character so well.
That was a good choice of actor. 100%. They chose a great guy for that for that role.
Because he looks unseemingly evil. And when he is acting not evil and, you know, doing all the things that are like the evil version of the doctor, he just seems like a nice dude.
He seems like a regular fucking British white guy. And then bam, evil psychopath.
Which I almost wonder if he could have done like a version of the doctor, like good version, not evil.
I could
version.
see that. Yeah, I could totally see that. I could see him playing a great doctor, actually.
Yeah, better than Jodie. Better than, well, I haven't watched Shooty, so, but I've heard things.
It's not great.
Shooty.
It's not great.
I do hate where we're going for the show.
I know, it sucks.
And there's so many things that they could have done before that, but you know, whatever. I'll just watch it. We'll watch up to, I keep hearing people say season 9 and then forget about the rest, but I do want to watch at least one episode of Jodie just to know.
Watch one and it'll just be it'll just make you angry, especially because where we come from and we're like in the thick of good writing, all these amazing payoffs, like everything that makes the show what it is, and then it's just gone.
Yeah. And the writing is just top tier. The fact that there's not too many plot points that you're like, that doesn't make sense, or no, he wouldn't say that, or she wouldn't say that. Yep. Or who would do that? Because the reason Fallout for me was so good at the very, very beginning is just entertaining. It doesn't have to be perfect. I still like it. I can turn my brain off, like it. But with Doctor Who, because it's entertaining and the story is well, but on top of that great writing just puts it from like where Fallout was at the time when I watched like the first few episodes, like a 6 or a 7. Doctor Who is like 9.5 and 10.
Yeah, it is. And it's so much of that is because of the writing and the storytelling. And we get these huge payoffs that take seasons. And when you do, you're just like,
planning. What? Planning?
Oh,
yeah. I can even forgive the Tinkerbell moment for the most part.
I know. I don't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. The CGI isn't great, and it's not, my favorite part of it. But it doesn't like it. I don't even think about it because I'm so busy thinking about everything else.
Yeah.
And the face of Bo reveal. The face of Bo. I'm sorry. That like for years afterwards, I was like, I can't believe Captain Jack is the face of Bo. And now we know what happens to the captain. He does live for like a billion he lives for so long.
Which is so strange. Okay, so going back to the interactions that we've seen, does the doctor know that the face of Bo is Captain Jack?
No, he knew, and he found out just in that moment. Like before the interactions happened before this, even though it's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. So he saw him, at different points in time. But the last time that he saw him when the face of Bo is dying, and he tells him that you're not alone, you're not the only one. Because Captain Jack was there.
Dang it.
Captain Jack was there. It's crazy.
And like Captain Jack's like being all like, or face of Bo, I suppose, in that point. I'm a wise old man and I can't tell you everything because I know the way time works, but here's a hint.
Yes, exactly. Like that's what he does because he's lived for so long. He's lived for so long that at that point he has to have more knowledge than the doctor. Like has to.
Wonder if he made any more children or had a better life, and it just seems so sad. And clearly he's accrued a lot of respect throughout his time at least as the face of Bo, because he's well loved, it seems, from a lot of people.
Oh, yes.
So
Oh, yes.
I would, I guess we don't find out. Be curious to see how he gets to that point and what makes him that way. Because he seems so like, well, there's the Torchwood version and the Doctor Who version of him. To get to that point, it's just wow. He went Yoda. He went Yoda on us.
Yeah, exactly. He does. He does. He goes Yoda. My only catching point with the face of Bo is how would Jack have never heard of the face of Bo and never connected it? Well, if the face of Bo is in the future and Captain Jack has never actually traveled into the future and met the face of Bo, there's a good chance that they just
never knew of each other.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Doctor talking about the face of Bo with Captain Jack at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it ever coming up. But
God,
so
one line to like freaking floor me.
Yep. The face of Bo, they called me. And you're just like, what the fuck? Oh, I was waiting for this to happen for so long. So long.
I know. It's so hard to keep it in, isn't it?
Yes, that one killed me. Like that to me, that's the big one. That's the one. All the other stuff is like, all right, well, you'll see it as it happens. But that one, I was just like, ah.
Oh, Lynn says here, if you want to pull it up, face of Bo also likely made sure not to cross over his own timeline, something he learned from his old friend.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Futures are really from 50K, right? Yeah, I think so. So that would make sense if the face of Bo knew not to cross with his old self, and then also if he came from 50K and then went back in time. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the face of Bo doesn't get famous until so far in the future that Jack never even makes it that far, because how long before he turns into a giant floating face in a freaking canister? You know what I mean? Like, what does he look like as he ages? Does he age slowly? Like, those are the questions that we never get answers to.
Oh
we
my
never
God.
get answers.
How does Jack turn into face? I want to see if anyone's made like pictures.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea.
Oh, totally not. That would be a fun AI thing if someone wanted to do that.
Yeah, someone.
How do you lose your body?
Exactly.
We need Face of Bo series. I mean, that's what Torchwood is, right?
It
is one and the same. A fanfic. Yeah, I would love to see Captain Jack turning into Face of Bo.
That's what I want. But I also want to find out. I do. It's, we do have Torchwood, but it's not quite the same. Like I want to see more of how he goes from Captain Jack to the face of Blow a little bit.
Yeah. History's mysteries. But it's more like future because it's not the history. It hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yet. Time is so wibbly wobbly, okay? And that one line, I think they said it twice over. If you ever found out the truth about the Toclafane, that would break your heart for the Doctor. And like, God, how true that was. How freaking true that was.
And it did. It does. It breaks your heart. You're like, that's what became of the last humans that were searching for utopia.
The crazy part is there was 6 million or was it 6 billion Toclafane?
Billion. It was billion.
That's a lot of humans that ended up actually surviving. Surprisingly.
Yep.
And insane. I feel like we went through almost everything I wanted to talk about. I'm just going through some of my notes here. I smell food. Mark's cooking.
Oh, what's he making?
It smells like chicken.
Oh, I'm having chicken for dinner. I have a chicken burrito bowl.
Oh, that moment that the Doctor says, I forgive you to the Master because he just wants to be friends.
He hugs him when he's down on the ground. It's like he's just show everything in him to show this person compassion. Because yes, compassion and love, which it's weird because I know that works sometimes, but it doesn't always work,
No. And I guess the Master was so evil. I did think the whole kids, when they are becoming or learning or going to school and they look into the vortex, and he was saying things like, it could do several things to you, including make you mad, make you want to run away. What was the other one? But of course, those are the two that inspire you.
Yeah.
So I would love to see a version of a Time Lord that got inspired in what they ended up doing.
Well, that's the Doctor.
Didn't he say he ran away?
Oh, is that what he said? Ran away and never stopped? For some reason, I don't know why, but I heard it as if I had ran away, I would never have stopped. But maybe
maybe that is it. Chat.
Now, chat, help us.
Help us. We might have mixed that one up. Yes, he did. He ran away. Or yes,
he did run away.
Okay. Because that's confusing now because we asked too many things.
I know we asked all the questions.
The first Doctor ran away. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, it would be interesting to see what a version of a Time Lord got inspired versus, of course, the Mad, which was the drumming, the drums. And the Doctor who's scared, but also I think he's inspired not by the time, but by humans. His intense fascination with it. And we have never seen a non-human companion.
Yeah, that's true. It's always humans. He's just really drawn to humans, and he does find himself going back to Earth a lot.
Yeah. Did he steal a TARDIS, Kev? Well, technically it's not stealing if everyone's dead.
Yeah, did he steal a TARDIS and then go back to Gallifrey, and that's when the Time War happened? I feel like that stuff I don't know, because I don't know if that happened during Classic Who or if we find out during Classic Who. So he did. He stole a TARDIS.
Wow. I can't imagine the doctor stealing.
Wow. So wait. So he freaked out when he was a kid and stole a TARDIS and never looked back?
It was before the war.
And then he goes back to the war.
Okay. And then he's like, I'm all patriotic. I got to take care of my own. I'm an older, wiser man. That's also a good story, by the way. Does the thing he does and then ends up being alone, which if he just stayed, who knows where they would be right now. He was 400 years old, which is still young, I guess. He had a family. Well, this is all old Who, I suppose.
Yeah, that's wild. See, that's stuff I didn't know. I'm going to have to read about it.
Would love to see that. No, he was a grandpop. He was an old man who stole it from his granddaughter. Huh?
With his granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Wow. Shit.
The first companion was his granddaughter. The only one that he probably ever loved that hard.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh my God, there's so much. Okay. That's this show's so good. So good.
I mean, that's the crazy part. We got 13 seasons in New Who, how many seasons in Old Who, and there's just so much lore. And we'll say up to season 9 or 10, good lore that isn't retconning anything and just building upon it. Maybe it's from the same writers or whatever, it doesn't matter, but it's just good.
They show respect to the old property. That's why.
Yeah. And I freaking love that.
Me too.
I really do. Oh. Courtney.
Courtney with the golden shower boy. Courtney, thank you so much for the golden shower boy. He says, wise, Dia. Hey, X-Ray Girl. I hope you're both doing well. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
Also.
Thank you. The Joneses. I think this is my last point.
Okay.
I would have loved to see how the Joneses would have dealt with Martha, with the doctor, kind of like how Rose and her mom dealt with her being away all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was stolen from us. It's fine. She had her moment.
No, she did. She had to go in. She really had to tell the doctor why. She had to tell the doctor why she was leaving. And I do like that.
Yeah. Even Jack knew. Oh, yeah. You too, eh?
Yep, he knew. Yep. He realized everyone falls in love with the doctor. And the only one that the doctor ever really fell in love with is
Rose.
Rose.
And he didn't even get to say it to her.
Oh.
There's more. I know. There's more.
So anyway,
That's the end of our review.
that's the end of our review. The next finale is great, but this was such a good finale. Face of Bow the Face of Bow reveal was like one of the biggest moments of the entire show, in my opinion. And I definitely am excited for the next season, though.
Yes. So I feel like, well, of course we'll come for this, but we have the Christmas special, and then we have to look at the episodes and see if there's any two-parters, and then go from there. Because I'm excited for Donna. I'm not gonna lie, I really like her.
Yes.
Love to see how she gets reintegrated into the show, and I can't wait to get my next fix of Captain Jack.
That's coming soon. Tricky, thank you so much. She also fell in love with the TARDIS. Wait, is that in the new season? Because that sounds, the new, or like New Who, because that sounds oddly familiar. But then I'm also like, I don't remember because it's been a bit.
Oh yeah, people want us to watch Time Crash.
It's only 6 minutes. Why not, right?
I'm no as when it comes to TV.
Mm-hmm.
I can last longer than 38 seconds.
Yay!
Yay!
You're gonna make a guy very. Oh wait, Mark is a very lucky guy.
Although it's different for a woman than a man.
Totally
to be
different.
fair.
Yeah, no, we could. 38 seconds is all good in the hood, and then that Matt Smith doc. So
that'll be in a couple seasons then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Oh my God, so many good things. Okay, we're excited to talk about all of it. We'll be next week on XiaLand Girl's channel at the same time. So everybody go subscribe to XiaLand Girl. Also,
Cool.
where else can they find you for all the other stuff? For everything.
Everywhere, XiaLand Girl, Rumble, YouTube, Locals, Kick, Twitch. But tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., I am going live with Mr. Pork Chop for morning roasts, where we're going to talk about some entertainment stuff. So get ready for that. And yeah, I love these shows.
Me too. It's so fun. Everybody go follow XiaLand Girl. Do it now. And also, if you're here, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you like it, hit that subscribe button. And I'll be back tomorrow right here at 8 p.m. Eastern to do Xia next Tuesday. Wait, that's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is Tuesday.
Yay! I love popping in your streams randomly. Like I lurk a lot. And when you're like, I'm changing, I'm like, but I want to see more of you.
I love you so much. That was on last Thursday. Was so much fun. Seriously, thank you again for coming on. That was like the crazy fun show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, check it out. Bikinis.
Check it out. Bikinis for both of us. Yeah, that's right. Both of us. Watch it.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, also, thank you to everybody who super chatted. I'm so sorry. I always forget to do this on these streams. But thank you so much, everybody who's dropping gold boys, golden shower boys, and green boys, and blue boys, and pink golden shower boys. Basically, Courtney, Tricky, and Anti-Pattern. Thank you guys so much for super chatting and supporting. It means everything to me. Thank you so much. And also, have an amazing night. Have an amazing dinner. Have an amazing sleeps. Okay, there we go.
Bye.
Such a jerk. Bye. Wait. Okay.